Hi everyone, Sajid Amit here and welcome to my review of the Sendy Aiva 2 planar magnetic headphone. So this is the box. Sendy Audio is, I think, one of those brands that somehow I feel like has their own cult of followers, because every time I do reviews of their products, I do have a lot of private messages, and so people do engage me, right, at a private level to understand exactly what these headphones sound like. I mean, they are pretty unique headphones because you don't get a lot of planar magnetic headphones nowadays for around this price point of $600, which do bass well, which are comfortable, which have wood inside, wood outside, and have pretty interesting aesthetics. So the aesthetics of a lot of these Sendy and headphones are similar. I'm waiting to get the Peacock in, and the Peacock does have even more flamboyant aesthetics. This has the sort of fish scale grill pattern, which I think is pretty, cool to look at. And then it's got this wood finish and extremely comfy pads, which has some cup swivel. The cutouts, the openings inside the cups are fairly roomy because I have, moderate to large size ears and they fit my ears fine. And as might be evident, that the outer part of the back part of the pads are thicker for a greater seal, which is how I, usually tend to wear my Abyss headphones, because they also have those sorts of pads in terms of their contour. Dual head band system, and it feels okay for the price. It's $600, so you're not expecting fireworks, but I do think they are aesthetically better built and constructed than many headphones from more reputable brands that a lot of us buy. Okay, so I do want to talk about sound, but the way I want to talk about sound, and of course I should give you a sense of the specs, but the way I'm going to talk about sound for this one is I'm going to do a live review, because I've not listened to this yet. I've been really busy with a bunch of things. So I'm going to listen to some tracks streaming from my Rune core all the way to my Orender N20 streamer, and then down my chain, which has my Mola Mola Tombaki DAC, and I have a variety of amps. But I do want to give you a sense of, this is the box, of course. And so this has 97 times 76 planar magnetic drivers. Impedance is 32 ohms. Sensitivity is 96 decibels, which means it's fairly easy to drive 32 and 96. And the weight is 420 grams. So it's actually lightweight, right? 'Cause anything under 500 grams, I think I tend to see as lightweight. It has a customary sort of the Sendy box, which is nicely contoured and is roomy and spacious enough to, of course, hold your headphones. Oops, I'm sorry. Pretty high quality zippers and stuff, right? So yeah, you get a reasonable amount of quality for this price. Okay, so I want to move on to talking about sound now. So this is the left ear cup, and that's the right. I'm always happy when manufacturers label R and L in a way that's prominent without disrupting the aesthetics. So the first song I'm going to play is Wave Decay by Gogo Penguin. Guys, this is going to be sort of an impressions, a stream of consciousness kind of video. I've done that for the while, 1995 in Manus, which you guys liked. So what tends to happen is I'm going to sort of, air out my thoughts and speak out loud, think out loud, as I listen to very well-worn tracks from my playlists. And oftentimes I'll pause so that you can hear me better, but I do trust that you'll be able to hear me despite the fact that there's music coming in or coming out. And it does affect YouTube monetization, but I haven't monetized my YouTube videos yet. Okay, so the first song I'm going to play is Wave Decay by Gogo Penguin. You can see my streamer lighting up. Warm. Good bass heft. I sense a very good balance between sub bass and mid bass. The kick drums, right? Gogo Penguin is a pretty simple act in terms of the complexity and the number of instruments they use. It's not a lot. The drum work tends to be very, artistic on Gogo Penguin. The kick drum is sounding really nice and lifelike. Very good separation. I sort of get a sense of space, not just in terms of lateral space, but let's say, for example, when the piano is coming through, the piano is coming from a distance behind the drums. And that sense of distance is very lifelike and real. And the timbre is very natural and rich because the piano sounds very good. It's very fatigue-free listening. So this is the sort of sound that reminds me a lot of the Sennheiser HD6XX series or the 600 series headphones. But the bass is much better. The bass has punch, has impact. It's not going to shake your noggin with punch and impact, but it's not light, it's not poofy, it's not plasticky. It's a punch that has sustain. It's got good decay. This is sort of like punch done right. Just the right amount of punch as you hear in real life, right? Okay, so I'm going to play another song. This is Battery, Metallica, from the S&M album, right? So it's with the San Francisco Symphony. Battery is, of course, a famous Metallica track. I do want to play something complex, grandiose, and this is something that I think will test the drivers. So the song starts with violin coming through. It's beautiful. In a different life, I would have kept this. I mean, I have a bunch of these expensive headphones, which I really like, which are better. But the crowd whistling on this track is extremely lifelike, and you hear the great distance from which the sound is emerging. The whistling. The violin was sounding very beautiful and almost emotional. Just fast forward a bit. The speed is being handled very well. The transient response speed. Because Lars is nuts with some of these tracks. Lars Ulrich is the drummer of Metallica. Yeah, and I'm getting very good separation from the lead guitar. Kirk Hammett coming in, and Hetfield's voice and Kirk Hammett's guitars are very sufficiently spaced out. It's warm. I'm missing the last bit of upper treble extension, which is great for tracks like these. More dynamic than Sennheiser headphones. Of course, they're cheaper. Their prices vary from between $300 to $500. I guess it is in a similar ballpark nowadays. The resolution is what you expect for $600. Like I do sense that there are headphones that have better resolution for $600, especially the HiFiMan Edition XS, which is insane for resolution. The HiFiMan Edition XS is like 90% of a Susvara, I think, in terms of resolution, or at least it's 90% of an Aria. Maybe the Susvara comment was an exaggeration. The Edition XS is amazing for resolution, amazing for stage. It's priced similarly, of course, but the Edition XS looks very tacky and it does fail on people. And I just wouldn't buy the Edition XS anymore. Also, mostly not because of its failure rate, because HiFiMan is very good with replacing headphones, but I think because of the fact that the HiFiMan bass doesn't sit well with me anymore. Like every headphone I own currently does bass in a very realistic way. So the 1266 has like the best bass, and the Imanis also has the best bass, but not as impactful as the 1266, but impactful nonetheless. And I have the 4Cal clears and all that, right? But the bass holds up here. The bass is fine. It passes the litmus test of a bass head audiophile like me. Oh, next track I want to play is not Metallica. I will need to go to my playlist. I'll play a male vocals track, Pieces by Rob Thomas, from the Great Unknown album. It's a nice track. It's melodic. It's relaxing. It's laid back. Pianos are coming in thick. The vocals on this the male vocals has clarity. It's got that ever so slight languidness, laid backness. Microdynamics are great. You're able to make out nuances in his voice. Because he has this part where he says warn you, and there's a bit of an emphasis on the you, and that comes through on this headphone really well. Tall images. So what happens is when male vocals happen or female vocal happens with tall images, you get a sense of the vocals soaring, right? That happens here. Which also happens with higher end headphones, but not always with headphones at this price point. Hold on to me. Okay. Versions of the Truth by the Pineapple Thief. They're a great band, the Pineapple Thief. So imaging is pretty good on this headphone for $600. There is a certain sense of blackness to the canvas and inky blackness from which images emerge, which is lovely because that does, I think, make for more listening pleasure. And the way sounds trail off, right, into this blackness, and then they pop out again. Yeah, the sub bass is extremely good. It's clearly well extended. Very musical headphones. This is what you buy if you want a fatigue-free listening, guys. Then again, is there. Never too harsh, not too forward. Again, images are great, spaced out, laterally wide, and blackness of background. Okay, so I have enough of a take on this. I do this because I'm a crazy, passionate audiophile. I'm not crazy, but I'm crazy, passionate, hyphenated, crazy and passionate. So I do trust my ability to form these judgments, and of course I'll do further impressions down the road, but for now I can tell you that the impressions are extremely positive for $600. This is a planar magnetic headphone that's extremely well tuned for the price. It's on the warmer side. But guys, I don't recommend blind buys, but if you ever bought this blind, I have a feeling you would like it because it's warm, and I feel like 90% of audiophiles like warm sounding headphones. It doesn't have any treble peaks or harshness or glare that I can make out, and it's got bass, which a lot of audiophiles like, whether they like to admit it or not. It's got mid-range, which even more audiophiles like because that's where most of the music is, and a lot of audiophiles are mid-heads. And technical performance-wise, I think it keeps up for the price. I don't think it's a final word on resolution. You get like an Edition XS, which is perhaps more technical, especially in terms of resolution. But this does, I think, hold its own in terms of lateral image, stage width, and image separation, and image height. And of course, in terms of dynamics, which can often be considered a part of technical performance, I think this is better than an Aria. Of course, it's better than Edition XS and an Aria, I can tell you that. Because those high-end headphones are not very punchy. And timbrally, I think it's richer and more organic than a lot of those. So overall, guys, I mean, this is a good headphone. There's absolutely no reason for you not to consider this. There's every reason on the planet to consider this. Like Sendy Audio, I do hope at some point makes it bigger than they are. Because they have their fans, like I said, people who have bought into them, like their products and keep buying them. But I do think that they can use more mass market appeal. They probably deserve more mass market appeal. I do understand that drivers, I've heard, and I don't have it on good authority, but I've heard that they use off-the-shelf drivers. And I will look into this. I don't know much about this. But guys, where I'm coming from, a lot of high-end headphones, rather earphone companies, IM companies use off-the-shelf BA drivers, even EST drivers, and then they tune it. Well, so just because you use off-the-shelf drivers does not mean that, you know, you can charge a decent price like $600. A lot of it comes to tuning and what you get, right? Because we do in part pay for tuning and technical performance and so what have you. I don't know for sure. I'll get back to you on this. I'll drop some comments in my post section on my YouTube to discuss this further. But this is a very good headphone, I think, for the price. So this has my highest recommendation for the price, guys. So yeah, check out the Sendy Aiva 2. It's beautiful. It's warm. It's rich. It's fatigue free. It's laid back, and it's got decent technicality for the price. That's it for me, Sajid Amit, signing out, and stay tuned for the next one. Bye bye.